Vintage Hollywood is often remembered for its elegance and iconic performances that stand the test of time. Beneath the glamorous surface, however, lies a darker truth. Hollywood can be brutal, and those who struggled with fame's harsh realities often found themselves drowning their sorrows. Today, we'll reveal the 13 worst alcoholics in Hollywood history. Some of these stars even lost everything to their addiction in ways you might not expect. If you're curious about who they are, stay tuned to learn more. Our list begins with Oliver Reed, the talented English actor with piercing blue eyes. He gained fame through popular films like The Trap, Oliver, and Sykes. In 1971, he was even considered the fifth biggest box office star that year. Reed was charismatic and committed, bringing a powerful presence to the screen. That's why he became one of the top actors from the late 1960s to the early 1980s. When you're famous, everyone watches your every move. It's no surprise how much Reed struggled with alcohol. Robert Sellers described in his book Hellraisers how he and other stars drank wildly. Reed was said to down 100 pints in just 24 hours. Sellers called him one of the greatest hellraisers of all time. Along with Richard Burton, Peter O'Toole, and Richard Harris, Reed often fell or staggered into pubs. They clearly loved drinking too much. But alcohol didn't just bring fun, it also caused Reed's downfall. In 1999, during a break from filming Ridley Scott's Gladiator, Reed spent his time at a bar in Malta. He drank heavily, consuming almost half a bottle of whiskey, 12 shots of rum, 8 pints of lager, and some cognac. This was just one night, and it was clear he had a serious drinking problem. His love for booze was well known, and it ultimately cost him his life. He got into a bar fight with 5 young Navy sailors, and they resolved their disagreement through arm wrestling. Sadly, Reed didn't survive the night. He collapsed that same evening and was rushed into an ambulance, but he was declared dead before reaching the hospital. Reed is best remembered for his role as Antonius Proximo in Gladiator, for which he won a BAFTA as Best Supporting Actor. When people discuss the glamorous stars of old Hollywood, Errol Flynn often comes up. The charming Australian actor was handsome, but he too was caught up in Hollywood's vices, drinking, women, and drugs. Flynn's drinking was a key part of his social life, fueling his romantic adventures and daring exploits. He was also known for bar-room fights and even once stole a police officer's badge. His close friends included John Barrymore, Ava Gardner, David Niven, Humphrey Bogart, and Frank Sinatra. Flynn loved champagne and always carried French wines with him, especially when he traveled to places with no high-end liquor stores. In his final years, vodka became his drink of choice, and he often drank a bottle daily, damaging his liver. When he couldn't drink, he would even inject vodka into oranges to get his fix. His addiction hurt his health, and his once handsome face bloated with age. He died of a heart attack on October 14, 1959, at 50. During his autopsy, medics marveled that he had lived so long, considering his heavy drinking and drug use. John Barrymore is another famous star who fell into alcohol addiction. Many don't realize that he, along with his siblings, was deeply troubled by alcohol. Barrymore was once a major star, but now he is mostly remembered as a washed-up alcoholic. His problems started early. His father was an alcoholic, and he preferred spending time with his grandmother. Even as a kid, Barrymore was drinking from her visitor's glasses until he passed out. Things got worse after his grandmother died when he was only 14. Barrymore admitted to a doctor that he was an alcoholic. Despite his struggles, he still received praise for his acting skills. His talent was clear, but his life was full of chaos caused by drinking. In light comedy plays, he sometimes performed Hamlet's soliloquy while seated and drunk. This made audiences believe his approach was new and creative. In truth, he couldn't stand up because of his drunkenness. Later in life, alcohol dependence grew so severe that producers refused to hire him. He often played roles as a drunk, including his last film, Playmates, in 1941. He died on May 19, 1942, during a recording session of Romeo and Juliet. He collapsed and was taken to the Hollywood Presbyterian Hospital. His death was caused by liver disease and kidney failure, worsened by pneumonia. Rita Hayworth, one of Hollywood's biggest stars during its golden age, is also known for her struggles with alcohol. Behind the fame, her life was full of hardship. She started dancing young and caught the attention of Winfield, head of Fox Films. She landed small roles at first, but soon moved up the ranks. Her Spanish roots limited her to playing the exotic dancer type. Wanting more, she changed her look. She dyed her hair and got electrolysis to appear more American. Hayworth enjoyed a long career and was called the Love Goddess by the press. During World War II, she was also a top pin-up girl. Yet her love life was very troubled. She often got involved with men who wanted control or took advantage of her. Despite her fame, she had no one she trusted. She struggled to meet Hollywood standards and was misunderstood many times. Her second husband, Orson Welles, mentioned her drinking problem. He didn't believe it was serious at first, but her son, Yasmin, helped him see the truth. The boy watched helplessly as his mother's alcohol use took over her life. It became so bad that she had an alcohol breakdown and had to go to the hospital. Alcohol also played a role in delaying the diagnosis of her illness. People thought she just had alcohol dementia, but she was actually showing early signs of Alzheimer's. Her son believed her mental decline was due to alcohol, but it was more than that. The papers picked up her case, leading to a diagnosis of Alzheimer's in 1980. The poor actress endured more than 20 years of suffering before her illness was finally understood. She passed away at age 68 due to complications related to Alzheimer's. Looking at other alcoholics in Hollywood, Richard Burton stands out as a true hellraiser. The Welsh actor gained fame in the 1950s as a top Shakespearean performer and was even viewed as Laurence Olivier's potential successor. Sadly, he never fully lived up to those hopes. His heavy drinking didn't help, and many believed that his alcohol use ruined his talent. Burton was open about being an alcoholic throughout his adult life. Writer Robert Sears stated he drank at least 3 to 4 bottles of hard liquor every day. During filming for The Klansman, he almost died from alcohol poisoning and had to be hospitalized in Santa Monica. Many of his scenes had to be shot while he was resting or lying down because he couldn't stand. Later, Burton admitted to his co-star that he often didn't remember filming certain movies, including Good Times. His drinking worsened so much that he resorted to antibus to cut back. Alcohol also played a part in the collapse of his marriage to Elizabeth Taylor. By 41, his body was failing fast. He suffered from problems like dermatitis, arthritis, and an enlarged kidney. His health kept declining, and he was limping by his mid-40s. He died at 58 from an intracerebral hemorrhage. Next is William Claude Dukenfield, better known as W.C. Fields. The American actor and comedian made a name for himself as a silent juggler. He was famous for his raspy voice and pompous way of speaking. His characters often drank, but he didn't start drinking until he felt lonely on tour. He kept alcohol in his dressing room and drank regularly after he stopped performing as a juggler. The role that most summed up his drinking was his part as Professor Henry R. Quayle in the 1933 film International House. That role made it clear that alcohol was a big part of his life. In the film, he played an aviator with an insatiable love for beer. The actor, inspired by his character, also enjoyed drinking in real life. He was among the few actors who filmed while intoxicated, but surprisingly, their drunkenness added a bold edge to their acting. This only made audiences love their characters more. Sadly, Fields' career faded slowly, and he spent the last 22 months of his life in a California sanitarium. He died at 66 on Christmas Day. William Holden, a multi-award-winning actor, is also on our list and has one of the most tragic endings. Holden received many honors, including an Academy Award for Best Actor and a Primetime Emmy for his role in a short series or movie. He starred in several popular films that made him famous in Hollywood. But like all good things, his fame didn't last forever. By the 1960s, Holden faced competition from new actors, and his popularity declined. This pushed him towards alcohol, and his struggles became an open secret. Despite his reputation for drinking, Holden remained dedicated to his craft and kept acting until the very end. He died on November 12, 1981, after falling and hitting his head. The Los Angeles County coroner reported he was drunk when he slipped on a rug and started bleeding. He bled to death, with the fall causing the fatal injury. Moving on, we come to Montgomery Clift, one of the most handsome actors of his time. He was a four-time Oscar nominee and often played sensitive, troubled young men. Clift was seen as a pioneer of method acting alongside Marlon Brando and James Dean. He had money, fame, and many fans. But everything changed after a terrible car accident. At the time, he was leaving a party hosted by Elizabeth Taylor and her husband. Clift was found bleeding and swollen, trapped under a shattered dashboard. Elizabeth Taylor had to pull a tooth from his tongue to stop the pain. The accident caused serious facial damage, leading him to get plastic surgery. Clift returned to filming just 2 months later. Still, he felt ongoing pain, which made him turn to alcohol and drugs for relief. His face had been changed, and many believed this ruined his career. The scars and differences in his appearance made him drink more. Clift died at just 45 years old. He died in his New York City apartment after a heart attack. Many thought his heavy drug use led to his death. An autopsy later showed he also had severe colitis and an underactive thyroid. Judy Garland, famous for The Wizard of Oz, also struggled with alcoholism and drug issues. Despite her fame and wealth, she faced personal problems from a young age. The pressures of Hollywood worsened her mental and physical health. Many in the industry manipulated her, telling her she wasn't attractive enough and forcing her to change her looks. This pushed Garland toward alcohol and drugs, intensifying her struggles over the years. On June 22, 1969, her husband of 3 months, Mickey Deans, found her unresponsive. He called Scotland Yard, and she was declared dead from a barbiturate overdose. Her death was ruled accidental. She was 47. A specialist mentioned she was already in poor health because of cirrhosis. Jack Cassidy, a talented singer and theater director, also died tragically because of alcohol. He had won a Tony Award, a Grammy, and was nominated for Emmys many times. Yet, as an artist, he faced many battles in life. His oldest son wrote about his growing worry over Jack's increasing drinking. Jack also had bipolar disorder. One night, December 11, 1976, Cassidy asked his ex-wife Shirley if she wanted to share a drink. She declined, not knowing it would be their last conversation. The next morning, Jack lit a cigarette and fell asleep on his couch. He dropped the cigarette, setting the couch on fire. The fire quickly spread through the apartment and caused his death. A charred body, identified as Siddy's based on dental records, was recovered near the front door of an apartment. The body was found wearing a ring bearing the Cassidy family crest. Jack Cassidy's family cremated his remains and scattered them in the Pacific Ocean. Gail Russell, an American film and TV actress, tragically passed away due to alcohol-related causes. She was known for her beauty and secured a contract with Paramount at the age of 18, making her debut the following year in the movie Henry Aldrich Gets Glamour. Russell's introduction to alcohol came from the head of makeup on the set of The Uninvited, who suggested it to calm her nerves. Despite its initial calming effects, alcohol led to Russell's slow descent and eventual demise. By 1950, she was a known alcoholic and, at the age of 36, succumbed to liver damage caused by acute and chronic alcoholism. Marie Provost, a prominent actress during the silent film era, faced a tragic and depressing death due to alcohol-related issues. Her career flourished at Warner Brothers but declined rapidly after they dropped her, compounded by personal struggles, including the death of her mother and a failing marriage to actor Kenneth. Heron Prost struggled with depression, leading to excessive eating and alcohol consumption, causing weight gain and career challenges. Her heavy drinking ultimately resulted in her death at the age of 40, leaving behind a modest estate valued at $300. However, her passing prompted the establishment of the motion picture and television country house and hospital. Jackie Gleason, a renowned American actor, comedian, writer, and composer, had a tragic past marked by paternal abandonment and the early loss of his brother. Despite battling alcoholism, his exceptional talent allowed him to continue thriving in the music and acting industries. Gleason's alcoholism worsened over the years, leading to health issues and a decline in behavior, but his impact on both industries remained significant. He passed away at the age of 71 due to multiple health problems, with colon cancer cited as the primary cause. These stories contribute to a deeper understanding of the struggles faced by individuals in the entertainment industry, shedding light on the impact of alcoholism.